Alex and Alonzo coming up next.
Live from the Rant Radio Network, you're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant and here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network.
Welcome to another episode of the most exciting show you'll ever hear.
That's right. We are here to pump you up. Yeah, right. No problem, just solutions here at the
towers of the Rant Radio Network.
There you go, the stomping grounds.
There you go, the stomping grounds.
I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
And not so talented co-host.
And very good looking, might I say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And you smell good today too, by the way.
Oh, I always do, Alex. I showered today.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah.
Well, shower's always good. Yeah.
I didn't actually come out straight from the stables today. I actually went home and I showered.
Right on. Yeah, exactly. In house today, we have Miss Leilani Ferguson. How are you, Miss Leilani? Or good afternoon.
Welcome, Leilani. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. She will be talking to us today about interior design, something we haven't talked too much about here at the Rant Radio, at the Real Estate Rant. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. We also give a $25 gift card from Steven's Steakhouse and a $200 gift card from, did I just say
Joe
that?
and Don?
Gift card, right? From Gardens Dental here at 7218 Garfield Avenue in the city of Bell Gardens. If you give us a call, 855-693-4897, we can offer you one of those gift cards. You can ask Leilani a question, or you can ask myself or Alonso a question, and We'll do our best. We'll do our best to answer it, right, Alex? We'll do our best to answer it, and also give out that gift card, right? Alonso gives me some flack about that sometimes. You can also let's throw up the design deal, Mr. Allen, if you will. If you happen to get this particular house, what kind of house is this? We have a multiple choice of what the kind of house that is, and if you happen to answer that particular question, we'll also offer that gift card as well. When you email us in previous shows, we try to relate the questions that we get by email. We try to relate them to subsequent shows. And did we get a question this?
Yeah, this week's question comes out of Angela from San Bernardino, and it reads, I'm thinking about selling my house. I don't know. It says, I think about... Here we go.
Right on. You're thinking about selling the house. I get that.
She thinks she's thinking about selling her house, but I don't know. It may need some work done to pass home inspection. Can I just sell it as it, or do I have to fix it?
She's using the term home inspection. I think that most homeowners should be aware of the FHA requirements if they're going to open their house up to FHA financing. There's a lot of requirements when it comes to smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, as well as water heater straps. Those kind of requirements. There are other habitable living area requirements that FHA and most conventional lenders have. But in terms of the home inspection,
there isn't a pass or fail on a home inspection.
Exactly.
I think it's more on a pre-sale home inspection, like some cities do require. I know, like City of Compton and Southgate, they require those.
The 9As, the 9A reports.
So that's probably what she's referring to it. As of home inspections, there isn't, like I said, there is no pass or fail on those. Those are just disclosures that are brought out by home inspectors to make sure that, the buyer beware, how he knows what he's getting into. That's pretty much what it is. And now I know the pre-home inspections for some city require them. I'm not sure San Bernardino requires them. I know they're
city specific. Now, San Bernardino is a city, but it's also the biggest county in the country.
Well, actually, I'm glad we brought that point, because I did do a little research, like you. You may know I like to do research.
Mr. Alonso likes to do the research for the show.
There was actually a good website I found. It's a Pickford. It's a website out of Pickford Escrow, and actually gave me a detailed list of all the cities that require pre-home inspections and the different type of how can I say, kind of inspection you need before you sell a home that are required by the city. And I looked for San Bernardino, and I couldn't find anything on San Bernardino.
Yeah, so that means it's not a 9A report is not required in the city of San Bernardino, but there may be cities in the county of San Bernardino that will require them.
Well, that's I
Or are you
like I
talking about the
said.
whole county?
I researched the whole county and I not found one in San Bernardino.
Oh,
Usually they were pertaining a lot of them to the Los Angeles County areas. And like I said, San Bernardino, I did not see any, so I'm not sure if you even need a pre-home and sales inspection or any kind of required inspection by the city in order to sell your home.
yeah. Okay. So now to answer the question, what was her name again? Angela.
Angela.
Okay. To answer the question for Angela, like you said, it's not a pass or fail, but wow, I mean, we could go into a list of things that could be found on a property, and I would say just as an umbrella statement, it has to do with health and safety. The cities are concerned about health and safety, not necessarily about beautification. And actually, we'll talk about more about that with Leilani here in terms of interior design, because it kind of flows over to that as a full spectrum. I mean, first you get, habitable living space, then you get, you kind of flow over to what's pretty to the eye.
It's
Right?
kind of
In
like
terms of right, Leilani?
What's aesthetically pleasing?
Aesthetically pleasing. There you go. Perfect.
I would like to say it's like taking your car to a used car to a mechanic, and the mechanic's gonna tell you what's wrong with it. Pretty much that's what you're doing with the home inspection. Is you're taking it to a home mechanic, and he's pretty much gonna detail or outline what the house may need work on.
Yeah, but then you take it to the car wash, and they're going to beautify it. They're going to wax it. They're going to vacuum it out. They're going to do all that stuff. So they're two different areas, right? That we're talking about. In terms of the question, though, because I think that the listener is confusing, because we also talked about home inspections and then also appraisal, right? So you have the city inspection, you have a home inspection where it's done by a private company, and then you have an appraisal. All of those things are scrutinizing on the property. But now when you talk about requirements, because that was her question, the requirements are really based on what comes up on the appraisal.
Well, actually,
Because it become lender requirements, right?
lender requirements if you're getting the home finance, because like I said, if it's an all cash buyer, then that goes out the window. You absolutely not need anything. You don't need any kind of inspection. They're pretty much the home inspections are how can I say it? It makes the lender more accessible to lending their money. Whereas if something is brought up on a home inspection, then of course it's going to make it a lot harder nowadays, and than it already is to get a home loan for that home.
Nice. Okay. Was there any other questions that we had, Mr. Alonso?
That's the only question I got for today, Alex. But well, that's actually the only question I prepared for today.
Oh, okay. Right on. Right on. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. In-house today, we have Miss Leilani Ferguson, the owner-operator of, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it Lay Designs?
Lay design.
Lay Designs. Okay, well, I love the name. Okay, Lay Design. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. I mean, that's just how it is. Leilani. Now, recently we talked about there was a change in your email address. You can reach Leilani at alfergdesigns@gmail.com. Is that the right one? Okay,
Correct.
because there was a different one that you gave me earlier. You can also visit Leilani's website at leilaniferguson.com. That's unique, right?
Plain and simple. You would think so.
Yeah, you
There's
just go
actually 4 other women in the United States.
You just went straight
with
for the
my
jugular. I mean, that's
So LeilaniFerguson.com.
right on. Leilani, what got you interested in interior design?
I think I've always had an eye for it. I think ever since that I was younger, I would just walk into a room and I would dissect the room. I would think to myself, what's wrong with this room? Is it the color? Is it the furniture? There was something. So I think I've always had an eye for it.
Did you have the white glove thing too, where you had going around and check for dust and things? Is that
Sometimes.
sometimes okay? Right on.
It's actually I want to say it's actually like a need to beautify something. It's like you see something ugly and you want to turn it into a nice masterpiece. I myself, I've had that kind of back in the days.
You got the bug.
I had that bug for like looking at ugly houses and wanting to beautify them, and I would look at them and I would say, wow, maybe I'll I'll put some white tile and I want to make it now like a how can I say it, a country feel, and I'll buy some little chicken decorations for the tile, and then I want to accent with some red on it, and checkered floors, and I kind of wanted to make it look beautiful. And I used to get that, how can I say that, sense of how can I say it? Sense of pride when I had a couple come in and look at the house and they were just amazed on how beautiful something turned out. And I'm talking about a kitchen project I once did, on a home I was flipping,
Do you have the hay coming out on the sides and stuff?
No, it was actually, it had that country feeling because I didn't want to mess too much. It was a flip, so I didn't want to mess too much with the cabinets. So the cabinets were white, and I wanted to give it like a home country appeal, like the home and garden. How can I say it, covers that you look at? I mean, something
You want a
Leilani can
warmer
probably
feeling.
relate. Leilani can probably relate with me. Help me, Leilani here.
You wanted to give it a warmer feeling.
Yes, and it's
you
just,
wanted a cozy down home feeling.
There we go.
Well,
There we go.
you mentioned an eye for design. I mean, what would you call that particular design? Is there a name for it?
For what he's describing?
Yeah.
Country?
Just country?
Just,
that's-
I mean, I'm thinking just that's the only thing that comes to mind right now. You're talking about chickens. And
Well, it was just accessing the tile, that it was,
the banjo.
I mean, I wish I had a picture of it, and then it was kind of, I loved it because it went with some French doors that I put on the kitchen, so it was kind of like that how can I say, like that cabin feeling.
the distressed look.
Yeah, it was distressed. It was a distressed feeling, but like a country. Country
was it a
outdoor-
worn, distressed look?
Yes,
That's
it
what
was.
you're looking, more worn, more down home kind of feel. Something
It was a
that's,
earthy. How can I say it?
I think you
And
said it all.
this was for a flip property. It sounds like
well,
you went all out on that.
That was one of the things I had with a couple of my partners. Is come on, we're flipping this. Don't get too into it. I go, well, I want the couple to, or the person who's buying the home to, like what we're doing to it.
So you knew the buyer? You knew
Actually, no, I didn't know the buyer, but
okay, so you were catering to that.
I
Particular...
wanted, I don't know. It's just overwhelming feeling you had to make something look nice, and that's what I
did. The rest of the house, not because you talked about the kitchen, but what about the house
the
itself?
rest of the house itself.
Did it look like a barn or something?
No. The rest of the house, all we did was we patched it all up. We made the drywall skim coat, and made it like a old fashioned, because skim coating back then it was done way in the past when everything was plastered, and then we're coming up on a break, so I don't want to run my mouth there. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, two things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number one Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number one. There's only number one. There's only number one.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
with a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español. Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat.
Like this? Okay.
And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. And in-house today, we have Mrs. Leilani Ferguson. She is with Lay Design, owner-operator. She does interior design, and we'll be talking more about that. Just real quick, I just wanted to put a shout-out to Stroke Awareness with Michael Aguilar and Associates, as Real Estate Rant and AGR and Associates are both sponsors of Stroke Awareness. And I just wanted to mention Mr. Aguilar there. You can see him if you happen to be watching on the podcast, riding, God, what are those things called? Those crazy bikes?
Those cycles?
What, ellipticals? Is that what it's
Is
called?
that a bike?
No, it's on like the four
It's elliptical.
elliptical. Yeah, that's what it's called. And we do like to support Mike in Stroke Awareness. He likes to go around and give seminars and talks about stroke awareness and healthy living. So welcome, Mike. And again, if we can do the design deal, Mr. Pantalones, if you will, give us a call, 855-693-4897, and you can win a $25 gift card to Stevens Steakhouse or a $200 teeth whitening to Gardens Dental, located at 7218 Garfield Avenue in the city of Bell Gardens. Compliments of the Downey City of Commerce with Carlos Cruz. We were talking in the last segment about interior design, or an eye for interior design, and Alonso was mentioning.
I was rambling more about. I went off on a project I was doing.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's okay. It's because it brings up a question. So did that help you sell the property?
Actually, it did, Alex. I like I was telling you during the break. I hadn't even listed the house for sale yet, and I had neighbors. Looky looks would want to see what we were doing to the home, just because
There's a new word.
We changed out the windows. We put the double pane windows with the little squares on them, and it was like I didn't want to go cheap on it. So I did put the fancy rugs. I don't know what you call them, Leilani, help me out, but they're the rugs that are kind of like threaded. They're not. They're like they're white rugs.
Berber?
But they're not like an ordinary rug. It's kind of like
Shag?
They're like
Shag
shags.
rugs?
They're like shag
Okay.
rugs, but they're kind of have the little bumps on them. So I don't even know what you call them, but they actually look pretty nice, and they kind of accented the whole, how can I say, feeling that I wanted to give to that home.
But what I'm getting at is, did you feel the total investment that you put in terms of upgrading the property or actually modernizing the property to your liking, did you recoup that in selling the property?
Actually, I'll give you an example. I got that home for $365 and I sold it for $545.
Oh wow! Okay.
So there was a good profit margin in it. And,
what did you end up spending on it?
Like $25,000 into the home.
That's not bad. Okay. I thought you were gonna say like 45.
Well, I have a brother-in-law who's a contractor who helped me do that home. And
Here's a case of beer for you, right?
Yeah, it was one of those.
You show up with those Sekis, right? That's hilarious. So we talked about an eye for design, and Alonso had an experience now with doing a country kitchen, but in terms of having, I don't know, what would you call it? You mentioned wow, you walk into a room, you just got to start fixing it up in your mind. Is it, wow, this needs to get moved here, and I don't like that color and all that stuff. I don't know. That's like
Actually, I think you need to know what your client wants first, right? Before you're picking out a look. Or how do you do that, Leilani? How do you say what you're gonna do into a room? It's like a blank canvas, and how are you gonna paint that canvas? Where do you get those ideas from? From your client, of course, right? And do they tell you, well, I'm looking for a modern look, I want this kind of look? So how does that go about?
Well, you sit down with the client, and what I do is I have them go through magazines, and they will point out what they like. So we'll get a lot of magazines, they'll rip out pages, and then I'll say, okay, is it because of do you like it because of the color?
Furniture.
Do you like the furniture? What is it that you actually like? And then we'll narrow it down to what their actual style is.
And
if they don't have a style, it's basically just, we'll do eclectic or something comfortable. something that will make them feel like that's my home.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm fortunate enough right now to work in the West Side, and I've come to to buildings where I look at the furniture I've never seen before. Never in my
Yeah.
life would I imagine like red couches, or bright green. I'm talking like a lime green couch and with red chairs, like bright red chairs, and it's all accenting with like some real modern marble floors and mahogany, walls, a panel wall. So, and
Yeah.
I kind of it all comes put together, and it looks really, really. I kind of say I've never seen it on this side of town, but over there I've seen it, and then they accent it with like some fine art on it, where it gives it the colors to it offsets the colors on the furniture, and I go, wow, that's something neat, and it's some colors that I would never thought, would go in a nice building,
But when you walk into something like that, you automatically know that somebody has designed. They're
Yes,
taking the time to design
exactly.
this, right?
And I know for a fact they spend a lot of money with their designers there, and they bring these pieces of furniture who must cost a fortune, and it's kind of like
Well, it kind of brings to mind. So you go into a place and you start getting an idea with the homeowner as to, okay, what kind of design they're looking for. Do you find yourself moving stuff around a lot? I mean, I guess
All the time.
okay.
All the time. It's you're taking a couch and you're moving around to see what the best location would be, and you want to know what they like to do. What do you like to sit around and just look out the window, watch TV? I mean, you want to see where the best placement would be for the furniture.
Nice. It kind of brings a question to mind. So you talked about, just growing up and having this this eye for design, if you will. But is there schooling involved as well?
Yes, there is actually. There's Interior Design Institute. There are other. I don't know if it's still around, but I think it was FITM.
Yeah.
Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. I don't know if they're still around, but
So there's
there are
different
others. Yes,
organizations.
there are.
There's different organizations that are out there where you can get that kind of training, if you will. But I mean, do you have to graduate from those things? I mean, because you would think that some people, well, they just don't have an eye for design, right?
You can get a certificate. You can get an AA degree. You can actually you can even go to a college for that. You can go to community college. I know they do have courses in Cal State Long Beach for interior design.
Nice. Okay, so it kind of ups the ante, if you will, ups the bar in terms of who you're going to hire on, bring into your house, and who are you going to talk about interior design, or so your company offers this service.
Yes.
Okay, so
and I had a question, Ilani. When you talk about a designer or your say, I want to say, do you do restroom designs also, or is it just
well, that's a good question. Kitchen,
is it kitchen and
restrooms?
restroom design, or just what kind of
Yes.
design?
Everything.
So it's everything. Okay, so
Entire home.
So this comes to my question is, when a designer goes in and they said, okay, I want to remodel my bathroom. So I've worked with some designers where they actually pick the tile. They pick the tile. I want travertine. I want the glass on it. So you actually will go in and you'll tell your clients, look, this is how I'm gonna make your restroom if it's okay with you. So do you actually, how can I say, pick out tiles and different kind of material you'll be working with, or
If they don't know what they want, if they don't know what their color scheme is going to be, I will pick it out for them.
oh, okay.
Do you get that a lot?
Yes.
Do you,
all the time.
Okay, so I mean, and this is why you would think you need a designer anyway. I mean, I'm terrible at that stuff.
I mean, sometimes you have to tell the client, what you pick doesn't match. You have to be, and they get really sensitive about that. But you're trying to help them come to a really nice design for their home.
So you're really hands-on with your contractor and your tile layer and everything, and you're really involved in the project, or
Absolutely.
Okay,
From
yeah.
beginning to end.
okay, because I've had those situations where I've in the past had a construction crews, and I would hire tile layers, but then there was a designer involved, and it was just a whole different how can I say it, advancement in the work, because when you get a designer that knows how the look she's going for and something's not right, then everything's coming down and you're starting again. Has that ever happened to you? And
I will be involved as much as the client wants me to be involved. If they say that, my job here is done, then I'm done. But if they want me to finish up the entire project, I'll be right there for them.
Yeah, it sounds like there might be even some conflict there sometimes. Like if you're talking to the contractor and you're saying, look, this is what the client wants, and you're trying to tell them, look, I want this particular material, and the contractor's telling you, well, this can't be done. You know what I mean? I would think that those kind of conversations go on.
It happens.
Well, it happens because sometimes, a contractor wants to get there and, get out as soon as they can. But sometimes it becomes a little bit more time consuming, a little bit more difficult when, you have to have the precise tile inserts or anything, any specifics that, a designer knows what they're looking at. And a regular homeowner is just, okay, that looks good. And you're done. With the designer, it's a whole different level because now you're like, if a tile is a little bit off or it doesn't go with the pattern, then you know what, it's coming down and we're starting all over.
Give us a call, 855-693-4897. Thanks again to the Rant Radio Network for having us available to do the show and having us here on the network. You can visit us at that website at www.rantradionetwork.com, which I believe it comes up as iRant Radio, and you can watch the shows there on demand anytime or on YouTube. You can YouTube Real Estate Rant, and all the shows are there as well. Real quick, just a quick shout out again to Mike Aguilar and Associates for stroke awareness. And if we can, Mr. Pantalones, if we can throw up the design deal, you can win a $25 gift card if you call in and get this particular design. We've put up 3 answers. It can only be one of those. And we made it easier, right, Alonso? Before it wasn't multiple choice before.
Well, we want people to call in and feel comfortable at least taking a guess at it,
And what's funny about this one is what's really funny about this one, if you look at the names that I put up there, right?
I want to say, are those really names? Because
okay,
some that I
they are all real. Okay, it's just so you know because one of them doesn't look real, right? Because when I first saw it, I go, really? Is this a bit odd, if you will? Right when I saw it, I was like,
that's the same thing I was going to ask you, Alex. Is that a real name?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, thanks for tuning in.
We're coming up on a break. Don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Add some crazy flavor to your vape pen. You're looking for something new and exciting in liquid vapor? Go to Crazy Cloud's e-juice. Find them at burstoflavor.com and try any of the new 12 flavors they have available. Blueberry, mint, raspberry, chocolate, gummy bear, hemp, watermelon, cola, orange, pina colada, coconut, or Red Bully. Call us today at 855-WE-BURST or visit us at burstoflavor.com and order yours today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural healthcare services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
What's up, guys? Sports Guru
and Bud Knocker
from the Sportscast, Wednesdays, 12 to 2 Pacific on Rant Radio Network.
We got everything you need to know about sports. We got all the latest video highlights. We got You Got Knocked the Fuck Out. We got Bonehead of the Week. We're talking sports, drinking beer, and having a good time.
If you missed the show, go to rantradionetwork.com and listen on demand. So check us out every Wednesday, 12 to 2 on Rant Radio Network.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. So we are back here at the Real Estate Rant. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. In the house today, we have Leilani Ferguson with Lay Designs, the owner-operator, interior design expert. Can I say the expert?
Sure.
Okay,
yes,
right
please.
We talked a little bit about the schooling. I mean, what are some of the subject matters that go on in the schools?
History of interior design.
Oh, it gets that far into it.
Design 101, concepts, staging, furniture construction, let's see, placement, colors.
Wow, that's pretty involved.
What is give us some kind of more elaborate more on
caveman
history. What is history?
Well, how did caveman design his cave?
Is it okay, before furniture came along, you had a rock, and this was your centerpiece. But how does that history tell us? How can you relate history to your subject matter?
Well, I think what she means is the history of interior design. Like it started somewhere. Somebody.
Well, that's what I want to know.
Somebody came in with their white glove. You know, it wasn't Michael Jackson, right? But somebody came with their white glove, and they came around. And I'm joking around about that, but
okay.
Well, that's what I'm kind of curious. What was the history behind interior designing, or how did that come about?
I was really listening.
Leilani was at the back of the class.
Honestly, it wasn't a very fun subject. History of design. So, I was more into the colors and placing the furniture and
those are the things that interested
staging.
You.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess history has to do with the time concept of what the look you're trying to accomplish. Like, say, if you're in a movie set, then you're trying to accomplish a 50s set or something that was in the 40s. And I guess you would have to know some kind of history, what kind of furniture was manufactured back in that time, or to give it that look.
That's true. So you would think that would be part of interior design. If you want to try to go back in time, some people might like the nostalgic look, if you will, the 50s, the 50s look. I mean, would you consider yourself to be proficient in those things?
I haven't designed anything in that. I haven't had a client that wanted that kind of nostalgic look.
Could you do it?
I could, absolutely.
Okay, right on,
but I
right
mean, I haven't had a client yet. I mean, usually they would want modern, updated furnishings.
But I guess that's where the history could play a part of it. Then you'd have to go back and do some research of what kind of look was at that certain time.
They do go into the time periods, like the era for like the Roman Empire and what kind of furniture they had. And I mean, I'm talking way back.
Well, yeah, because even like
you get some rich people, right?
Even the Venetian style furnishing, the ones that have the little how can I say, those little legs, and they're really fancy prints on the furnishing. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go way back then, but that's what my mother liked.
Back when Jesus played with dinosaurs.
My mother liked that kind of look. She wanted that. I want to say Venetian look, or look like it was gonna be on a castle. The furniture came out of a castle. With. I mean, I'm probably
French provincial.
I have it in my mind, but I can't explain it.
Well, let's back up a little.
Okay.
Leilani, your grandmother, mother. You're also a real estate agent.
Yes.
Okay. Being an interior designer, has that helped you at all in your career in real estate?
Absolutely. I mean, with the open house, I can stage it. I can tell the client, this is what's going to sell your home.
And that's we had a subject matter on our previous show when we talked about that, and we were talking about that now it's a big. There's a lot of realtors that use that. They use the staging concept of bringing in an interior designer and staging the actual home as of what was. I think it was a question we had.
The cardboard TVs.
No, it's actually a question.
Have you seen those, the cardboard TVs?
Which it makes it more easier for it to sell a home.
Yeah, well, I think we were talking about the vacant properties, and then a seller trying to sell a vacant property, but now so you do interior design, but you also do staging.
Absolutely, yes, I do.
So would you advise somebody to stage their house?
Yes, I would if they wanted to sell it quickly.
And that's what we talked about. How new home builders, how they spend a lot of money into that.
Oh, that's where we got into the Sears catalog thing.
Exactly.
I call that the new construction homes when you walk in their Sears catalog. And Alonso was saying that you bought one in his Hemet. And so I asked him. I said, Alonso, when you bought the property, obviously it didn't come staged. They took all the furniture out. Did it look the same when you moved in? He said, absolutely not.
Absolutely not even to the molding.
Not even close.
To the molding. You go to the model homes and they have even the real thick molding and the all around, crown moldings, everything. And when you get your house, it looks like you walked into a garage. It's like it's just blank walls. And then they tell you, well, if you want the molding, it's gonna cost you this much. It's an upgrade.
Well, yeah, they start charging all like $20,000 for new knobs and stuff.
Exactly. If you want the brown paint, it's gonna cost you more because it comes in white.
Yeah, exactly. So it has helped your career. On your own personal listings, you can now advise or consult your clients as to, hey, you know what, we're not really getting any bites or anything, so you can potentially stage. Now, is there like particular companies that you work with, because they have all this fake stuff, like the fake fruit and the fake. Do you have access to all that stuff?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I actually have it in a warehouse, my own things that I
have. Oh, you have it?
Yes.
You have it. So it's not a company that you rent from or anything?
But I actually use what they have. I rearrange their furniture. I take, their accessories and I rearrange things. I think the biggest thing that they would have to do is paint the walls. It's the best thing you can do for your customer, for your client.
Give it a fresh look, huh?
Yes.
Okay,
use what they have.
Now this comes into the eye for design, because you talked about color now, and then am I right about that?
Yes.
You talked about color in terms of, and we're kind of moving forward a little bit in terms of the basics of interior design. So you're asking them, hey, you need to repaint your house because that purple you have up on the walls there just ain't doing it for me, right?
Uh-huh.
Am I right about that?
Yes.
So what colors would you like
recommend?
Yeah, which would you recommend if I'm asking you, hey, I got my purple walls up, what would you recommend?
Neutral is always best. You're talking vanilla, you're talking beige. Always best to have neutral.
Those neutral colors, I think when we were originally doing the interview, you talked about how culturally speaking as well, that they kind of overlap culturally. So in other words, if you have, let's say you have an Asian couple come in, or you have a Mexican couple come in, or potentially somebody Middle Eastern come in, those colors will always be neutral.
It should always be neutral because they can build off of that. They can picture in their mind, my furniture would look good in this space. Now, if you have a room with black walls, and I've seen it, I've actually seen a room with black walls. It's kind of hard to picture your things in there. So neutral is always best. Vanilla, beige. Yes, I've seen it.
And it was furnished?
It was furnished.
How did it look?
Not very well. Not very good, honestly.
Have you ever seen
Actually, I have, Alex. Actually, growing up as a kid, my brother did his room. He did his room. He painted his walls black. I'm talking a black, but he also laid a checkered tile. It was white and black checkered tile. And then he had nothing but black furniture. So it actually looked really nice, and even had a nice lacquered black fan.
Walls and black furniture?
Walls. Black walls, black furniture, and he accented with like a checkered floor, and actually like bedspreads were kind of white and black.
So how did it look?
It looked really nice. It looked like a how can I say it? If I was a teenager, it looked like a room where I want to, spend my day at,
Right
and
on.
actually he got a lot of feedback from friends that went over, but it actually, mom was really sturdy about keeping our room clean, and she wanted the house looking nice. So it didn't look trashy. It looked really nice. And then it had those glass doors, those mirror glass doors. It was a great teenage room to be in,
Was he going through his dark phase?
Well, actually, I don't know if you want us to.
Black walls, black furniture.
He's always been into black. And then that was his thing, black.
Was he mod? Is that?
No, he wasn't mod. He was more like a
Heavy metal? No?
Not at all. It was just that was his thing, and it didn't look bad. I may say it didn't look bad.
Well, we're kind of. I had a question about that in terms of not using neutral colors, because we talked about the basics of interior design, okay, and I'm kind of pushing forward a little bit.
Okay.
But how do you think that would affect the value of a house? Because when I said black walls, you kind of cringed. You said, "Oh, I don't like that." But how do you think that would affect the value of a property?
Well, you always want the property to look its best. And if you're coming in with purple walls, your buyer is going to think, I'm not going to pay what they're asking. You're taking value out of that home. You want them to feel like this could be their home. So purple walls, no. Black walls, no. Make it neutral. Let them feel like, so they could think that, okay, my furniture can fit in here. I can see this as my home.
And there's not. I mean, if I were to walk into a house like that and have black walls and stuff, I'm thinking, well, there's some work here because I got to paint the walls.
Yes.
Right. So moving back now to the basics of interior design, color was one of them. What are some of the other basics?
Furniture placement, accessorizing. Just making sure the flow of the home it's a good flow, that's nothing's blocked.
The feng shui.
The feng shui.
Do you use that term? Do you use that term?
Sometimes.
Okay.
What about plants? What is this? Does plants something that plays part in interior designing?
Oh, absolutely. Put a plant in a corner in an empty corner.
And it brings a lot. That's what that was just my personal opinion. I didn't know if it played part in it, but I've always found a plant looks really nice anywhere in a room.
Yeah, definitely.
And also gives the room height.
It gives it
height. Height.
Oh, height.
See,
Yes,
okay.
height.
I'm not an interior designer,
Okay.
but I guess I got that look or that that.
Well,
it's
what Leilani talked about earlier. You have an eye for design. See,
Alonso,
I could never do that.
I've gone to to Ross or to those Marshalls department stores, and I've seen some little buckets with like grass, high grass, and it's all fake. And I'm taking it, and I go, "What do you want?" And my girls are looking at me. Well, what do you want that for? You're crazy, And I'm kind of like, oh, I want it for my office, We're coming up on a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at Protect. Just reminding you that Protect Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
What's wrong?
I can't stop craving a cigarette. I just quit. Hey, what are you smoking on?
Oh, this? Best e-juice on the planet. Burst of flavor, of course.
What's that?
Only the best alternative to smoking with a great flavor. It has a burst of flavor in every puff.
Well, does it have nicotine?
It comes in different levels, including 0. They have 20 flavors and more coming. All the products are made in the U.S. Check them out at www.burstoflavor.com or call them at 855-WE-BURST.
Hey, let's burst together.
It's not just flavor, it's an experience. Cigarettes, you've met your match.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo.
Everyone, even Elvis loves Firehouse Chefs.
Catch FHC Radio every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. on the Rant Radio Network.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
And your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
no problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back. Thank you, Mr. Pantalones, here at the Real Estate Rant at the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. In house today, we have Leilani Ferguson. We've been talking about interior design. You can give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. You can reach Leilani Ferguson at Lay Designs at 562 area code 505-5388, or you can email her at lfergdesigns@gmail.com. That's LFERGDESIGNS@gmail.com, or you can visit her website at www.leilaniferguson.com. And if you happen to be watching, it's up on the screen for those who didn't write that down fast enough. Best way to do is to call her. Give her a call, 562-505-5388. Leilani does interior design, and we're talking about how she does that and why she does that. We talked a little bit about the basics of interior design and what that entails. You also do seminars.
Yes, I do.
For whom?
For realtors. I do staging classes for realtors. I teach them how to stage a home so they don't have to go out and hire an interior designer or a stager. They can do it themselves.
So you approach a broker and you say, "I want to talk to your real estate agents."
They can call me.
Alonso here's a broker, as a matter of fact. How would you approach him?
They usually call me.
Oh,
They
really?
usually
Okay.
call me and they want me to come out and teach a class. It's about an hour long. I can do workshops, 2 or 3 hours, and really get down to the details of where to put things, how and why.
And so it all comes how can I say it? There's a reason why to place something. I'm kind of confused there. There's a proper way of staging something.
Yes.
Well, look at I used to be a real estate appraiser, okay. And when I used to walk into houses, people would put stuff in the weirdest places.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I've had people put chairs or sofas in front of an entryway. I mean, they're blocking off an entryway and just odd placement of furniture.
Well, one thing for sure, I think the architects and the designers really have to get together, because furniture a lot of times does not fit
exactly
in a lot of these houses.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
They're really
that just
big.
drives me nuts.
They're really big pieces, and then homes are really small, especially in the Los Angeles area. I mean, in our neighborhoods, which is Peak Rivera, Montebello, Whittier areas, the homes are not
speak for yourself.
Really big.
In our neighborhoods, what are you talking about?
Out of my experience, and I've seen where I've looked at a couch or how can I say it, those sectionals, and they look really nice in the store where it's wide open, but you try to cramp it into your space, and you go, okay, now how am I gonna get to the kitchen?
Yeah, exactly. It looked nice in the store,
Yeah.
but boy, in my kitchen, I can't even eat. You know, you're up against the table. If a homeowner has a vacant house, what would you advise that person?
If they're trying to sell the home,
They're trying to sell it. Yes, they're trying to sell the property.
if they want to stage it, I can come in and stage it. If they don't want to stage it, if they don't want to put any more money into it, then clean it from top to bottom. Get the cobwebs out, clean that kitchen, because everybody wants to touch everything.
Oh, yes.
You have
kids
have
come running
buyers
around in
come
there.
in. You have buyers come in, and if the kitchen's really nice, they'll touch the cabinets, they'll touch the countertops. So everything should be clean inside and out.
Leilani, and you were telling us earlier before the break that you actually have a warehouse or some furniture is already where, say, a client has a vacant home and they want to stage. Would you be able to actually take a whole living room or, furnish it and make it stage the whole thing?
Yes, and if I don't have it, I can go to another company and get the furniture.
Oh, okay. And what does something like that cost? Just a curiosity.
Honestly, it depends on how big the home is and how many pieces they want. You don't have to stage the entire house. I would recommend the living room, the dining room, and maybe one bedroom. And if they have the funds for it and they want to do the whole home, I mean, I would say the backyard, because that's a big part of it.
Now, we talked a little bit about color hurting the value. We talked about the Alonso's brother's black room that he had. Right, they probably lowered the property value
Alex,
about $10,000.
I wanna, how can I say, rebuttal that? It actually was really nice. I mean, I guess you had to look at it because, I mean, he accented with the white, molding and the crown molding, so it wasn't just a dark room. It actually was black and white. I want to say
it was done nicely.
It was done nicely. I mean,
with taste.
I liked it, and I've got an eye for design.
Yeah, well, they say what's in the name, right? So what's in the color, right? We talked about that. You had a funny story actually about a house that was painted a weird color. I think we talked a little bit about that. It was in an HOA or something?
No,
it wasn't.
Actually, it was a house in my neighborhood. It's the first house that you see when you drive into my neighborhood, and it was bright yellow with bright blue trim.
I'm trying to picture that.
Okay, really bright yellow with bright blue trim
on the eaves and
maybe a Pacer fan.
Blue.
Yes, and then next door,
the psychedelic.
Maybe a Pacer fan.
Oh well, that could be.
And then next door, their next door neighbor decided to paint their house pink, like a kind of a salmon color, with red trim. So that's the two houses you see.
Red trim.
Yes.
I can't even picture that because it's such an odd.
It is.
Yeah.
You gotta go see one of my father's home. It's bright yellow with red trim.
Okay.
But that's just
that's kind of like a pink and red trim.
But
it's hard to picture it.
But that's just because he was so cheap and he had the red paint already, and he painted all the eaves red, all the.
But you mentioned that it angered some of the neighbors.
Absolutely. They wanted to come out there and leave messages on their I'm sorry, leave messages on their cars, like paint your house,
What did you really want to say, Leilani?
Oh, can't say that on air.
But okay, so the neighbors are pissed because the color scheme that they used wasn't a popular one. But why would that piss people off though?
Just goes to show what society's like, right, Alex?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to get the fact that it has to do with the value of the properties, right?
It wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It was hard to look at when you're driving in. That's the first house you see. It's kind of harsh. Those are harsh colors to put together. And again, it was bright yellow with bright blue trim. And what made it worse was the owners were realtors.
You're kidding me.
Not kidding.
They probably knew the concept of property ownership. That's why they did it,
Well, you think the concept of value.
I would do the same thing, Alex. I kind of would, I'd kind of get a kick out of, someone else trying to tell me what to paint my house. What color to paint my house?
Okay, well that's the function of an association. I call that taking away the rights of the property owner. So this is not in an association. These people could paint it however they like, but look at the end result.
And
they're hurting the rest of the neighborhood.
Why are they hurting it? I mean, there's taste for taste.
Well, okay. So Alonso, do you think
Different people,
if they were to put
different
their
strokes.
property up for sale, do you think they're going to sell it for top dollar?
Hey, you don't know nowadays.
I mean, that's kind of true because there have been some weirder things that go on. Right? So I don't know. I'm on the side of the fence that if your property's painted a weird color, inside or out, it's going to hurt the value of the property.
I'm on the other side of the fence where I'm gonna say if I own that house and I'm paying that mortgage, I'm gonna paint it whatever color I damn.
Okay,
want.
no, but that's because you're living there. I'm talking about selling the property. If you're living there, okay, you paint it
Well, when
purple,
it comes
black,
to the, when it
and
comes
bright
to the
green.
point and salad, then we'll go ahead and paint it. That's the way I would look at it.
I don't know that that's happening.
I probably wouldn't even if I had a neighbor approach me and tell me I need you to paint your house. I would probably not even. I mean, I would do the opposite. I'll probably want to make it more uglier just to piss them off more.
Just to make them mad. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Paint the property whatever color you like and see what happens. Unless
they're going to help me
difference of opinion.
Unless they're going to help me pay the mortgage payment, then I'll paint it any damn color they please.
Yeah, isn't that nice? So enough about color. What about modernization and updating? We talked about furniture placement. We talked about cleaning. We talked about color palette. Modernization and updating. Is there a difference between those two things?
It's similar. I mean, I'll give you an example. Back in the years, thousands of years ago, they used to make dinner in an open fire. Well, modernization, you've got the modern kitchen with all your appliances. You've got that fancy stove. Well, updating is having that the updated version of the fancy stove.
Of the appliances.
Of the appliances.
I see. But modernization now has more to do with the taking out of the brick oven and putting in your convection oven.
There's all kinds of new modern appliances, your new modern concepts out there.
Yeah, versus updating, which is more like if you have like say chipping paint, and I'm trying to visualize what updating would be. Chipping paint, where you would update in terms of lead-based paint was a big thing back in the 70s, because it would last longer, and now you can't even use lead-based paint, right? And so it chips a lot more frequently. Is that kind of what you mean by the difference between modernization and updating?
Well, update, you want the latest, you want the most current, you want what's out there that's the newest concepts for your home.
I see.
You kind of understand what I mean?
I do. I just wanted to bring that up. It's something we talked about. Now, you used a particular word that I didn't quite understand when we first talked about this. Personalization.
Personalization.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does that relate to interior design?
Now, are you talking about staging when you're trying to sell your home, or just personalization, your own home? Yeah,
let's say that I'm a homeowner, and I brought you in as a consultant, and I want to personalize my house.
Well, if you're personalizing and you're not selling your home, that's basically things that you want, like pictures, your own personal taste, your own pictures of your family, things that you like. Now, if you're talking about personalization as far as staging a home to sell, then it would be depersonalization, because you're trying to take the character out of that home. You want to depersonalize it.
Yes. Well, we are coming up to the end of the show. Leilani, thanks for joining us. I'd like to have you back on the show again. We can talk more about interior design.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again, Mr. Alonso. And join us next week at 3:30. Every Wednesday, Real Estate Rant here at the Rant Radio Network.
Make sure you stay tuned for Indy 104. The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.